For trauma survivors, the notion of cycles has a different meaning than most. Every day, or even every year, we can be haunted by the physical and emotional memories of the past. The quote by Midna, asking Link if he ever feels sadness as dusk falls, is just the kind of cycle. It's that feeling at certain places or times that give you the most heavy emotions. I know for myself, every year at different points, I feel those memories in my body. The summertime is especially difficult. The sunlit days of summer give me a sense of dread because of the ghosts of my own past. I remember wandering the streets of where I grew up, hoping to find food, or in some cases, a place to stay to escape the summer heat. For me, the hour of twilight is a time of heavy sadness. It reminds me of sitting alone years before I was on those streets, waiting for a parent to come home. Many years were spent in sad desperation during that time of day, sometimes in places without water or electricity. Those moments were punctuated by repeated physical trauma, to put it gently. But how do we break those cycles? I'm not fully sure yet, but I've broken quite a few of them, and the best I know is that it requires recognizing them to start with. In my case, therapy has been the thing that enabled me to realize what I was experiencing, but those weren't the first attempts. Along the way, there will be those that seek to take advantage of your desperation, offering you a way out for a price. I've been the target of those types of people over and over again, which was its own cycle. I often talk about being neurodivergent, and being taken advantage of by people that desire to profit from my misery is something very familiar to me. Learning to recognize those types of people is crucial. They help you find the people that are actual lights within the darkness, the light we need to keep hope. There's something unspoken about what it looks like to start breaking cycles. As I've mentioned, I'm unsure how to escape them reliably. But I know that I'm on the right path when well-meaning people tell me that I can't do what I'm about to do to escape the cycle I'm in. More often than not, I've found that I knew what I had to do to break a cycle all along, but I often wasn't ready for it. This makes the sacrifice of Princess Zelda more personal to me than simply defeating the evil. In order for her to break the ultimate cycle, Demise's curse, she sacrificed everything she knew and took a leap of faith, knowing it might cost her everything. That level of bravery is something I aspire to. It's worth trying to reach for the things that seem just out of our grasp, to know a peace we've never known. For trauma survivors, we often live our lives out of chronological order. Many of us feel that we are behind our peers in some ways while feeling ahead of them in other ways, in terms of emotional capacity. I hit milestones this past year that my peers did decades ago. All the same, many of my peers come to me for advice because I navigated complex situations at a very young age. Zelda reminds us that sometimes, to move forward, we must go backward. I often tell my therapist that if it takes me until the end of my life to heal myself, it will have been worth it so that I can know that I overcame everything that was done to me. For this reason, the unknowable sacrifice of Zelda feels deeply personal. There is something poetic about the great evil, the source of the endless cycle, showing up at the end of time, where it was opposed by the only individual that could have stopped it. It's a great reminder that in a world telling us what we should do to overcome, telling us what we shouldn't do, that it's okay to trust ourselves to do the thing that no one else can do. We owe it to ourselves to try and break the great wheel. In doing so, we cease to be bound by the chronology of our past and learn to wield time for ourselves. Perhaps the best thing that we can do as those who break cycles is to simply support one another while on the challenging path towards all that we want. In this way, Zelda shows that while our circumstances aren't our fault, they are our responsibility to change, if we want them to change. To close, I want to say that if you are someone who is working to break the cycles of your own trauma, I believe in you. I genuinely believe in you. What you find on the other side will be worth it, I promise you. I hope that the thing you find on the other side of all the work you're doing are golden skies of promise and relief. Within us all is an untold power. Thank you so much for joining me.